There are over 40 defensive playbooks with thousands of different plays in Madden 26, and you're still trash on defense because you don't know which ones to be using. Luckily for you, in this video, I simplified it down to the top 3 defense playbooks you must be using to get stops here in Madden 26. I will warn you though, if you skip out on any of these playbooks, they might not be the one for you, and you're still going to be garbage. Let's not let that happen, and let's jump right in. Alright, the first playbook I want to show you is the most popular defense here in Madden 26, and it's the most popular for a reason. Let me introduce the Vikings playbook. Alright, so really what makes this Vikings playbook so good is the variety of different formations you have. I think 3-3 load mug, single mug, double mug, odd, and cover are all good. Then you have 4-3 even 6-1, 3-4 odd. You have dime 2-3 Sam. So you have so many different formations, but the one I want to highlight, and honestly what a lot of people like running from this, including myself, is nickel 3-3 odd, and the best blitz here in this formation is going to be overload 3 press. So you're just going to go ahead and call the play. All right, we're going to walk the line. You want to make sure you press RB twice to show blitz, okay? Now it's going to make it look like this, and you want to always make sure you leave auto flip on. Why is that the case? Because every single play, you want your slot corner to line up on the same side as the slot receiver, which is a lot of the time in most formations is going to be the opposite side of the running back, all right? And so when he lines up on the opposite side of the running back's going to have to slide over, which a lot of the time he's not able to, and it makes the blitz way better, okay? So here's the key though. You want to make sure number 52, this right guard, you're turning him inside. And what do I mean by that? You have to come down and inside to do that. So again, boom, turn him outside, down, and inside, and now you're able to see we get a man flying in free off that edge. That time they obviously sent 5 out, but it's still 5-on-5 as far as protection versus blitzers. So you would expect for these guys to actually be able to hold up, but no, they just never even see. You see, no one even looks at this man out here on the edge, and he's able to come in free. And the reason why is because, and this is what a lot of people won't show you, they just tell you to call these blitzes, you have to move these guards inside, all right? You see how 52, if I would have not engaged at all with him or not got his attention, he might have ran outside to block that slot corner. Now, I never want to sell you guys a false dream and say that, hey, you know, this blitz is going to work every time, but this is the most consistent way to set this up. So again, we're going to stand about right here so that we can basically move him down and inside, down and inside. Now, that is a real thing in this game, chipping. You see, obviously, we were able to get that quick pressure. Great job by our defensive lineman right there. But if we pay attention to the slot corner in this play, this is why no blitz can ever be perfect, because Jake Ferguson will randomly, or a tight end or a slot receiver might randomly chip your slot corner, slowing him down. But luckily, again, right here, you're just able to get this quick little shed right here, and we're able to get the quarterback on the ground, again, from only a 5-man blitz. And this isn't a blitz where you have to basically get the attention of the lineman. You can just like stand over them, so you can get back into coverage immediately and defend a lot of these mesh concepts. But if they are to set protection this time, they're going to go and block their running back. Always make sure you're pressing RB and right stick up the pass commit if you know they're passing. That'll make your blitzes a lot better too. But we're going to stand right here over 52, turn him inside, and they're able to see how we're going to get that pressure if, you know, we can come in. But that time, again, the slot corner got chipped. So it kind of just random. You saw in the first play that didn't happen. It probably won't happen on this play, but it is a possibility that, you know, those guys out there on the edge, they chip these guys up. But you know, there's nothing you can really do about it. Boom, you're going to see he gets chipped up again. But this time, that's what I'm talking about, where the running back never even recognizes him. You know, you would like for him to just be able to come in free, right? The specific alignment of this offensive formation makes it pretty easy for the tight end to chip. This won't happen in every formation, but you're able to see how, boom, this is what I'm talking about, where because you're on the opposite side of the running back, he never even recognizes this slot corner as a, you know, target man. And so then we're just able to, you know, collapse the pocket and get the quarterback on the ground. And you can certainly put hard flat. You can have a good user depending on the play that they call. So that's kind of the introduction to, you know, the Vikings playbook. You should probably start with nickel 3-3 odd. Overload 3 press is the best blitz from this formation, really, because you're able to get that quick slot corner pressure when you get the attention of the guard from only a 5-man blitz. All right, so if you enjoyed that first defense, go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down defensive tips and tricks and the best money plays on defense every single day here in Madden 26, and you're not going to miss out on any of them. But that was just a sneak peek to my entire Vikings defensive ebook, which you can find at the link down below in the pinned comment. I have all the other formations I showed you here in this playbook, full write-ups, full videos, full setups of how to to run this defense and take it to the next level. Let's jump right back into it. All right, the next defense that I want to show you is a super underrated defensive playbook that you should probably start using right now. Let me show you the Cowboys playbook. All right, so when we talk about the Cowboys playbook, honestly, another custom type of playbook. You have single mug, double mug, nickel wide, load mug, and cub. All right, and then we come into dime, you have dime rush. You have 3-4 tight, you have 4-3 even 6-1. Right, so you just have a lot of great defensive formations here, and it's why the Cowboys is honestly one that you should be taking a look at. The formation I want to highlight though here is going to be nickel 3-3 cub, calling Mike blitz 0. Now, this is also in a lot of my defensive ebooks that I'm making right now because this formation is very good, and it's not just from the Cowboys. Nickel blitz 3 is good, Mike blitz 0 is good, cub 4 show 2 is good. So that's really what makes Cub so dangerous. But we come into Mike blitz 0, okay, and this is how you want to set it up. Now, there's a couple different variations of this that are good. I would, the most important thing is getting in practice mode and figuring out what can work best for you. But I'm just going to give you guys something that I know works, right? And that's just an overload blitz, right? You're going to shift your D-line to the left here. You're going to stand directly over the center. You're going to drop your outside linebacker into a curl flat. And now what you're able to see is when you stand directly right here, or not directly, but probably about right here over the center, 2 yards back and over his left shoulder, you're going to be able to what we call a D-pad switch stick. So you're going to take the snap, immediately switch stick with the D-pad, and that time you see how they even block their running back and we're still able to come in free. Why is that the case? Because you create the 4-on-3 advantage that I talk about all the time with the offensive line, okay? So you're standing over the center, so when you D-pad switch stick off of this man, your man or your user that you started to play on is going to run into the center. So you see how all 3 of these offensive linemen right here are occupied by a pass rusher, and so then we introduce this 4th guy off the edge, and you see how this is what I'm talking about, where running back, they don't always do a great job in pass protection because sometimes they just don't even see these guys, right? He never sees him, and he just lets him come in completely free, and so we have a sack. 6 against 4 right there, or excuse me, 6 against 5. They have an advantage, and we're still able to get the quarterback on the ground immediately. And the reason why is, especially if they don't set pass protection, 75, the guy that he was supposed to be blocking, dropped out into a zone. So now he's forced to double team this man instead of sliding over. So again, really with this blitz, they're going to actually have to set pass protection and do some of the other stuff. And that's why it's important to have an entire defensive scheme and not just maybe one blitz that people like to sell you. Like, you can't just run one blitz. It's not going to work every time. They're going to be able to adjust to it. But this is a good one to possibly start the game in, call this in a critical situation, because especially if they send 5 out, there's no chance for them. But even if they block their running back, but they don't set protection, you're going to be perfectly fine. So again, 2 yards back, over the left shoulder of the center, they take the snap, you immediately press D-pad, and that time actually the A-gap man came in free. So it's either going to be that edge rusher or it's going to be the A-gap Mike linebacker in the middle. You're just able to see he picks his gap and he's able to get in free. And the best part, honestly, is everyone else is in a one-on-one, and so it just makes it very easy for these guys to shed. You see 97 was coming in free if this man didn't. So, and the last thing I'll highlight though with this blitz and why it makes it so much better than these other blitzes is you're back into coverage immediately. You're using 42, you can lurk over the middle. You don't have to get the attention of the center. You're back into coverage immediately to take away all these routes. And honestly, right here, they ran man coverage, or we ran man, so everyone's taken away. But if you want to run zone coverage behind the blitz, being back into coverage with your user immediately is super important. So Cowboys playbook super underrated, especially when you use 3-3 cub and all the other defensive formations that are found in this playbook. All right, so again, if you enjoyed those first 2 defenses, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Again, I break down defensive tips and tricks just like this every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of them. But let me introduce you to the final defense. And that final defense is the best defense that all the pro players are using right now. Let me show you the Jaguars defensive playbook. All right, so this Jaguars defensive playbook is one that's very good for a reason, all right? So obviously I made a video about dime 3-2 the other day, right? This blitz isn't the greatest in practice mode, but if you go into a game, right, you call cover for quarters, you drag the linebacker over, I'm sure it's on the channel. You can go watch it. I did an entire ebook on the Jaguars, but the formation that I really want to highlight here is going to be nickel 3-3 double mug, and I don't want to just show you guys the way that everyone knows how to run double mug, or everyone knows how to be, where they line this man directly over the center, right? That's not going to be that good, right? And so really what you need to do actually is a similar thing that I showed you earlier from Cub, where you're going to now just stand directly right here over the center. And again, what makes some of these defenses so good is you're able to run kind of the same concept from a bunch of different formations. So they're not going to really expect, you know, it's different formation, but you're going to do the same thing, right? So you're just going to stand about 2 yards right here over the left shoulder of the center, and you're still D-pad switch sticking. So again, they're going to call this play just like this, have them in base protection, have them send 5 out. That would be like if you catch someone off guard with this, but boom, take the snap, D-pad switch stick, and now you're back into coverage and you're able to get that quick pressure. Now, like I said, no blitz is going to be 100%, right? You're able to see we do get pressure on the quarterback, but our man right here runs into the wrong guy. Right? He runs into the guard, and when he runs in the guard, it's 4-on-4, and they're able to pick everything up. So it's like it's not going to always work. You know, right here, I'm going to try to, you know, stand a little bit in a better spot to really make this go. But we're going to have them just run the same play, send 5 out again, and that's why it's important to, you know, make sure you're able to D-pad switch stick, boom, D-pad switch stick, and there you see we're able to get that pressure right up the A gap very easily, because again, it's just a 4-on-3 that you're trying to create. Now you get this man 55. He's kind of caught in no man's land. He has 2 people to block. He can't block both of them, so he blocked one of them, and so then we're able to get this flying pressure. And again, the best part is you're back into coverage onto Trayvon Walker to defend whatever you need to be able to defend out in coverage. Now again, I'm telling you, you have full coverage versatility. You can do whatever you want with your coverage. You couldn't run zone, you couldn't run man. Just understand though, if you run zone, you need to make sure you're back over the middle of the field with your user to take away, you know, problem routes if they call them. But again, it's the same thing. 78, he can't block anyone now, or he has to double team because the guy that he was supposed to block drops out into a crow flat zone. So again, it's really a similar concept as I showed you from Cub, but you're doing it from a formation that people don't necessarily expect, because they were going to expect you to just run the send 6, you know, kind of bot version of mid blitz. But when you actually run it this way, it's going to be way better for you. Now again, if they block their running back, that gives you honestly an even better chance, because now, especially if you know they're blocking their running back, you can just put this man, Wingate, into a hook curl, because now you don't have to worry about guarding anyone out of the backfield. So now pass commit your defense, RB, right stick up to pass commit, but now you stand in the same spot, but instead of pressing D-pad right to D-pad switch stick onto the crow flat, now you just press it up, right, to switch onto Wingate, and then you're able to see how we're able to get that pressure. Now again, a lot of the time you want that super quick pressure, but you see how Judkins has a hard time right there actually blocking this man, where he's just going to get pushed into the quarterback and get the man on the ground. So being able to D-pad switch stick up is very valuable too. So we'll go through it one last time here. And again, I would really only put that man in a hook curl if I know they're going to be blocking their running back. If they've shown that over and over again in a game, that's a good, you know, alternative here for you. But again, boom, pass commit, have them take the snap, D-pad switch stick up, and you're able to see how that's exactly what I'm talking about, where we're just going to punish these guys in pass protection because they make it 4-on-4 now, but we're just going to step up and actually, you know, just run right through these guys, easy shed, and we're able to get the quarterback in the ground. And again, you have coverage out here with Trayvon Walker, and you're back in over the middle of the field with your user to take away everything. Again, 5 against 6, and we're able to get really quick pressure. So that's kind of the setup that everyone's using right now from Double Mug to be able to attack a lot of these offensive formations, because you can't run the bot version of mid blitz. You actually have to run one of the better setups. But honestly, the Jaguars playbook has so much more that I didn't even really talk about. All right, so if you enjoyed any of those defensive formations here that I showed you in this video, I again encourage you to go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down defensive tips and tricks just like this every single day here at Madden 26. You're not going to miss out on any of them. But if you want my entire Vikings defense review book, make sure you go down below to the link down below, pin comment, grab it today. You can use code YouTube to get 20% off. I guarantee it'll absolutely transform your defense. And if you want to see a gameplay of me running that scheme in action, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there.